Good morning. Oh, look, drawers are open. I have to close that drawer because I know that drives some of you mad, doesn't it? You neat freaks can't bear it in the back of shot. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Ah, hi. How are you? So I've got a bit of a different one today because Dina's going to be joining. Dina's staying with me at the moment because Mark's away. Actually, loads of people are staying. How full has this house been, Dina, over the last few days? It's been insane. But Dina's here. Say a quick hello.
Morning.
Now, I'm not letting her talk about any of the more serious stuff because I'm too worried she'll put her foot in it. Hang on, how do I turn that off? Because I can't trust her. I don't know what she'd say.
Don't trust myself.
She doesn't trust herself. But we're going to have a chat later. That will be sort of towards the end, halfway through. Because we had a lovely girly afternoon yesterday. It was such a lovely afternoon. And we were just laughing about all the weird different things that women would talk about in an afternoon, in a sitting. So God knows what. Dina said she's made a list of all this. So I don't know what's on the list. Again, it might all be too much. And we might get taken off YouTube, who knows? Because if she's got everything on that list we talked about, we're going to be in trouble. But yeah, so she's going to be joining us for that. Yes, Mark is in New York. He's there for film festivals and he's out there filming and he's out there having meetings. And he's also taken Nanny Di with him. So they are in New York. I think the members already knew that because he did a live from Times Square yesterday with the members. Apparently, he's been sending some unbelievable photos. I mean, my God, just stunning, absolutely stunning. He said it's so hot. He said it's unbearably hot.
Yeah, everywhere is except here.
Everywhere is boiling hot except here. But what we have to remember is the reason things are boiling hot is because of global warming. It's not a good thing. And on that, let's first of all talk about Michael Mosley. Oh, I mean, I think probably we all felt that it was going to be the worst outcome, didn't we? You know, it was a long time. Was it 3 days in the end? And, you know, heat's getting up to 45. I mean, just unbelievable heat. Dina, you actually know that place, don't you, where he was? Have you been there?
I haven't been to see, but my friend's in Crete and it's 10 degrees higher than it should be at this time of year.
10 degrees higher in Crete, where her friend is. So very bizarre, isn't it? He was so close, and his wife's beautiful statement in which she talked about, I thought it was really lovely. Did everybody see that? It was really lovely. She talked about how incredibly lucky they were, what an amazing marriage they'd had, how they were still so in love. They did everything together, didn't they? They were that sort of a couple. And, you know, how devastated. I just thought it was such a beautiful statement because within her sadness, she also talked about their blessings as a couple and as a family. And she talked about how blessed she felt that her friends and their children, because their four children flew out there, I think, on the Tuesday to help with the search. And she talked about how blessed she felt, actually, for the life that they'd had together. And it was terribly sad. And within her statement, she said, we're so proud because he very nearly made it. And my goodness, when you see the photographs of how... Now, it's weird because, of course, again, the media are going to want a little bit of like, oh, God, he was only across the way. So though we've got this shot from the cafe and you could, you know, and he was just across the way, I think it would have actually been a lot longer than it looked in those shots, if you've seen any of those shots. But I was just listening to a local politician in Greece, and he was saying that he was 20, 30 yards from the coastline, and that he would have been able to get a taxi from there. Can you imagine how frustrating, how awful that was for his family? But presumably he was very discombobulated with the heat. I mean, he would definitely have had heat exhaustion. And also this local politician was saying, You know, there is just no hint of a road, no hint of a pathway. It's just rocks. And it got me thinking about when we were in the Himalayas and we were, oh God, just endlessly coming down terrain that looked very like that. And from far away, you can, oh yeah, there's like rocks and little rocks, but I can't, it's so exhausting coming down that kind of an incline with all those rocks just falling, you know, ankles turning, you know, and whether he had water or not, we of course we don't know. Yeah, and this local politician, he was so sweet, the way he was just so, that wonderful Greek way. He said, you know, the locals, they knew him. They say, why didn't he stop for a glass of water or a coffee? You know, but obviously we will never know what the connections were, what made him walk that way. We will just never know, and neither will his family. And it's the not knowing so often that it's just so hard, isn't it? And certainly over this weekend, I've thought a lot about Maddie's friend that went missing on the first day of lockdown, and his family, and all the families that have lost people in these tragic situations, you know, and not having like full closure, not having all the details, not having it. It's so painful, isn't it? It's just yeah, unimaginable. And yes, Maddie's friend was never found. But there's been some really lovely comments coming in from people that he worked with, genuinely loved. If you saw my Coffee Moaning on Friday, I was talking about when he came on Loose Women a couple of months ago. It was very funny because Gloria was arguing with him about protein and eggs and steak, and he was just so good-natured about it. He was so lovely. And on Friday, I was saying, at which point we didn't know what the outcome was going to be, that I just can't get over it. I've been telling all my friends, been telling all my family. I keep saying it over and over again. I put it on the group to Kay and Jane. It's like, I just can't believe that the last thing I ever said, well, the last thing I ever said to him, I didn't know him well, do you know what I mean? I met him on the show. But the last thing I said to him was, out of all the life hacks that you've learned and you've tried out yourself, you know, the turmeric teas and the taking the tapeworms and all these life hacks that he tried and then shared with us, what if it was boiled down to one, what is the one that you would never give up for your health? And he said, my daily walk. That's what he said to me like a couple of months ago. But it's how you choose to take that walk, isn't it? That heat. No phone. It's like, my mum said, but wait, didn't he have his phone? You know, in typical my Betty way. And I said, well, Mum, more and more these days, people are saying, go on holiday. Like, we do this all the time. I'll say to Mark, listen, I just want a whole day without my phone. Have you got your phone? You know, and I just want a day. And we talk more and more about not having our phone, not having a phone. Mark always says, guaranteed, if none of us have our phone, we're going to need our phone. And I think it's just made us even more paranoid about that, hasn't it? So our thoughts and feelings go to Michael, all his colleagues, because he was very loved, and his family. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not reading out many of the messages, but as you know, I really do suffer when Mark's not here because this computer is a very strange beast. It's an old one and I just can't play with it. So I don't have any stories up. I'm free forming. And I'm not being able to read many of your messages. Let me just get these glasses. So I'm not ignoring you. I put my glass on now. I can see some up on the phone. Yeah, freestyling Elaine. Now, Dina, remind me to talk about Curly Cooks last Saturday.
Yeah.
Come on. So next, moving on to the absolute horrors that have been continuing on in Gaza, and I am going to do a separate video for this, but first and foremost, for anyone to be taken hostage taken from their families, where their families don't know where they are or what's happening to them, is a war crime. It's as simple as that. Like it's just horrific. So both, as far as I'm concerned, from my position, both the Israeli government and Hamas have both taken hostages, and no side is no hostage taking is ever okay. So I was, first of all, I am, happy for the hostages that have been returned to their families, and to those families, the pain and anguish of not knowing, what their fate was, to be in Gaza. Don't forget, it's the size of East London, Gaza. And for it to have seen it being bombed 24/7 for the last 8 months, to know that all water has been cut off, that there's no food, that there's only one hospital left in Gaza, Al-Aqsa, it's the only hospital left. That hospital now only has one generator. It's dire. So it must have been unimaginable for those families, their worry that that their loved ones were in there. And so for that, absolutely, I'm so happy that they're reunited. That's the way it should be for all families. We've just been talking about Michael Mosley and the agony that his family were in, not knowing where their father, where their husband, where their friend was, just unbearable. So that's a good thing. But the way that those hostages were brought back is, for me, horrific. Absolutely horrific. At the moment, 274 Palestinians were killed, hundreds injured. Remember, the only hospital now is Al-Aqsa, right? Many of those killed and injured children, again. Al-Aqsa has one generator left. Things are absolutely dire. I was listening to Owen Jones this morning, and he was just saying, he said, imagine that, because the fact that so many have been killed and injured, medics and doctors are calling it a bloodbath, literally a bloodbath. They have never witnessed anything like it, okay? The hospital is totally overwhelmed. I've seen the videos. I will not be showing any of the videos because, quite frankly, they're so horrific. No human eye should have to see them. And this is what children are growing up around in 24/7 in Gaza. I saw a video of a woman just running around. She said, we don't know where our children are, and we've got nowhere to hide. We don't know where our children are. Horrific. We don't see any of that in the Western media. We only see the joy of the hostages being taken back to their families, which is important to see. Don't get me wrong, it's important to see. But it's important to see both sides. The cost is huge. Now, Hamas is saying today that 3 other hostages were killed in the attack. Of course, we don't know that. There's no evidence yet of that, but that's what they have claimed today. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that could have happened because there is so much carnage. I was watching an interview with a man in the hospital. He said he saw a truck come up. He thought it was food and water. He went up to the truck. He said men got out all dressed in black, like hooded, shot him in the chest, shot him in the arm. It was absolutely, they were just shooting people left, right and centre. And they got the hostages out. And now I think it was on, Friday or Saturday, I did a video on my Instagram about just asking the simple question, are brown babies' limbs and white babies' limbs equal? I mean, are they? Are brown babies' lives and white babies' lives equal? Are they? Do we feel that they are? I don't. I really don't. Because imagine, this is what Owen Jones was saying, imagine this whole story was around the other way. Israel has 4 hostages, Hamas goes in, it's an absolute bloodbath, 274 Israelis are killed, hundreds are injured, children are lost, parents have no idea where their children are and they're not going to find them, there's nowhere for them to shelter, children are running around crying, these are the videos, where do I go, where do I go, screaming and crying. Do you think that would be plastered across every newspaper if it was the other way around? Yes, I think we can safely say yes. It's just really, I mean, it's, you know, the thing is, who wants to be talking about this all the time? Nobody. But it's like, you can't just let this go. You just can't. You just can't. I just see those children and I just can't sleep at night if I don't say something. So have a look into it yourselves. Maybe look at some of the videos. I can't look at them. I can't share them with you because, well, I just don't think it's my place to do that. But trust me, you will be absolutely horrified. So, 4 hostages back, 274 at the moment killed on the day. There'll be many more because the hospital is unable to deal with the horrendous wounds and they can't be operated on. Hundreds injured. That's the price. And apparently there's no discussion at all in Israel, nothing out in the news, nothing at all about what actually happened, the bloodbath, nothing at all. It's very, very restricted, the news out there. Okay, let me see if I can read some comments. Let me see if I can see them. Dina is revving up. She's getting herself a coffee. She's going to be with us in a minute. Katie Travers, I can't understand how people can see these videos of those children screaming and crying, dead babies, and yet seem to feel nothing. Listen, the only explanation is racism. That one race is superior to another race. It's called white supremacy. I mean, what other? I mean, I'd love somebody else to describe to me what else. Has anyone got any other ideas about why that is the case? Why people don't feel the same? I mean, I am at a loss. I do try and think what else it could be, but I can't think of anything. I know Save the Children really have tried to help all the children. We could donate. Sophia Lopez, Save the Children are really upping the ante because, of course, all these charities have to be so careful because there's so many tragedies going on in the world. We can't even get yet to the Sudan. The Congo is just horrific, beyond belief. I think there's 8 million displaced people in Sudan. Yeah. And so they have to be very careful, but they are coming out so strong, Save the Children, in a way that you don't often see. So today there was more children killed in Gaza in 4 months than in 4 years of conflict around the entire world. Think about that. I mean, the UN are set to announce that Israel has been added to the UN blacklist for cruelty to children. And the numbers on that are 15,000 dead. That's not including the ones under the rubble, which there are many. 12,000 injured. 3,000 who have lost their limbs. And 1.1 million in risk of malnutrition. That's not to mention the famine that is now, the man-made famine that is happening.
And the ones in prison.
And of course, the many, many hostages in prison, thousands, and children in prison that they've been taken and not charged. So it's a bloody mess. It's a real mess. And to not be engaged and not say anything is a political statement in itself. You know that. It is people say, well, I'm not political. Well, it's political to not say anything and not feel anything and not think anything. But anyway, that's the world at the minute. Now, tomorrow, I'm hoping that we might have Hannah with me for a breast cancer special. So if your life has been touched by breast cancer, I mean, let's face it, nearly everybody's life is going to be touched by breast cancer in some way, because eventually we all know somebody that has it, or so that I'm really hoping that I'm going to have her here with me, but it will depend how she's feeling, because we had her here yesterday for her birthday and she was just so lovely, but it might have taken a lot out of her. So if she's not here, we will be doing it on StreamYard as a double act. And then I'm going to have one day, though I haven't told Lee this yet. Lee's going to join me one day where I'm going to let him choose all the stories. So that'll be another interesting twist on our coffee moaning. It'd be really lovely to have Hannah. Dina Seidlin. Here's my sister Dina. So if you're listening on podcast, my sister Dina, my eldest sister, has just arrived. Dina, tell them how extraordinary was Hannah yesterday.
Oh, she was amazing.
She's
Just amazing.
And she just looked. This is the thing that people always say to me about Hannah. It's almost like they don't believe she's got cancer, because they go, God, your hair looks so nice. She'll go, people go, but she looks so well. She really does. She's sad though. She thinks she's like, her hair is like...
Well, yeah, why did she keep saying that? Her hair was
around
beautiful.
the back. No, she thinks she's losing it from the treatment. But so she's, there's a lot going on for Hannah, a lot. But we managed to we said, let's just have a day, didn't we? Where we don't mention cancer. We don't talk about anything, any poo in our lives. We just talk about silly stuff and we have fun. And I did a big roast dinner, and because she loves roast potatoes, and we had the most fantastic roast dinner. Sat out in the garden for little drinks first. Kaz was here, and Tits, who you might have seen. All four of them came on Loose Women to surprise me. Just the best ever, Loose Women. And Maddie and her boyfriend were here, and Dina was here, and it was just a really lovely day. Now, Maddie's boyfriend wasn't feeling so great, so he was like trapped on the sofa as we moved away from the lunch table and just like flopped and started chatting. And me and Dina were laughing about all the weird things that women talk about. Like, you can go from vagina to Fallujah in 2 seconds, can't you, with women's chat? 1 minute you can be...
He was so alert.
He was so listening to everything. Well, it's like, it's the way men always say to me, oh, my wife watches you. What about the other day when you were doing such and such and Lucy? And I said, I thought it was your wife that was watching me. But of course, they get so annoyed they're watching over the shoulder. He was what?
I said he was so alert. Maddie was like, she's completely out of it.
She's so used to us motoring on. But he was, if he could, he would have been asking questions. And my friend Tits, her 13-year-old daughter was here.
Poor girl. She's 11.
Oh, 11, yeah. No, but she's only 11. But Tits was so funny. She came home straight away and was like, she taken in everything because she was on her phone.
I think she was recording us.
Oh God, I hope not. Anyway, so we thought, why don't we? There's so much horrible bad news around. Why don't we just do a little chat on this coffee moaning about the weird and wonderful things that women talk about? So men, if you want to leave, you can, but you probably won't, will you?
So I made a list of a few things.
Oh God, what?
So why do people feel the need to expose themselves? That was after I was sitting in my car and about 50 bums went past on bicycles.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So, oh God, this was so funny.
But there was one lady on the bike and she had her pants on.
Right, so why? Actually, we want the men to stay.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into this hilarious chat, because then Tits was talking about the day when she
met the same race.
Years ago, it was in London, wasn't it? And actually, it's to raise awareness for people that actually killed on bicycles, the one she was in London. So it's a really good cause.
So the exposing is like, now you can see me.
Yeah, now you can see me.
But they're not all for that reason.
Yeah,
those bike rides.
But is that their tagline?
That's what she said. But that's not all of them. Some of them just like to get naked.
Well, this is it, because she was saying, I mean, one of the guys that we saw had his penis resting on the, what's that bit called?
The bit.
What's that bit called? Not the
bit.
handlebar.
Yeah, not the
cross
handlebar, the
section.
crossbar for men's bikes. Ladies don't have that bit.
Yeah, they have a dropping thing. Mind you, he would have been better with a dropping one.
Yeah.
What is it called? The crossbar?
No, I don't know what it's
Anyway, so we were like, no. She goes, yeah. He was driving along and it was lying along the crossbar. So yeah, exactly that. We were all being sick. But Patty's boyfriend's face, he was like, you could see him trying to work out how the hell did he have it sitting on his I think it is the crossbar. Anyway, so we carry on the chat on and on. Dina got the most horrific photo out I've never seen. Don't say what it was. You can't say. But where you got that was so disgusting. I mean, of a man on a bike. But then, as is Tix's way, she is just so organised. Well, she's the features editor for Lorraine, so she's like got everything catalogued and brilliant. And she went, I've got the photo. I've got a photo of it. You have not.
Now, she had the audacity to take a picture of that.
So I said, how did you find photos? Because years ago, she goes, well, I went to the group chat to the girls and I went all through the history and I found the photo. And there it was. Anyway, so we're all looking at this photo and this man, he's got his penis like lying on the cross neck.
Lying. He needed it strapped. It's incredible. Incredible.
So we're all doing this. And then Paddy goes, could I possibly have a look? Because you could tell he could. And he was like, oh my God, I'll never forget his face. Because it was. Yeah. And then there was another man who it was just like down on one side of the crossbar.
Yes, or down the very long side of his leg.
Yeah, down the long side of the long side of his leg. So we were like, what is it? I mean, I know that was a cause and everything, but as you said, the woman had a pair of pants on.
She had pants on.
So what is it that makes a man? Is it that thing like from when they're 5 and they've always got their hands down their pants? It's like
that.
It's like they can't. Members can't comment. Non-members. Oh, maybe I've hit something by accident. Mark. I've hit something by accident. Anyway, so that went into great depth, didn't it?
Yeah. That went from, well, we then went on to male anatomy and how it's not very attractive. And then it went on to pubic hair.
Oh, God.
And that was a very...
I'm just trying to see if I can turn
well,
this
it's
thing.
quite a disturbing conversation.
It was very... Oh, Dina was so funny because Kaz was going, I can't stand any pubic hair. I can't stand. She goes, if I see a pube, I can't bear it. I said, well, nobody wants to see somebody else's pubes. But... come on, you're a feminist. She goes, oh no, I don't have any of it there. I don't have it. I get rid of it all. The
funny thing is, she's been doing it since she was 15.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't a thing in our day. I know, like, Maddie's generation and, like, Hannah, they were like, that's what they do. But she was just, she had to go into graphic.
So Dina goes to her, oh, do you think you're 20 bloody 5 or something? Moving all your hair. So then we all went into, what on earth could it look like?
Yeah.
So then Tits came up with the idea that it must look like Goosebumps because of all those...
plucked chicken.
The kids were all like this. No, it's not feminist. We said we need it. We need it, don't we? We need it.
She goes, I've never had an infection in my life down there. I said, nor have I.
Yeah, she said, because I said you need it to protect your bits. And she said, no, you don't. It doesn't protect your bits. And then I was like, Tina, Google it. Don't you need pubic hair to protect your bits? And by the way, you do. I'm really sorry that non-members aren't being able to message. I must have pressed something by accident.
She's not very technological.
I'm not, but I can talk the hind legs off a donkey.
Yeah.
So what was the next one?
Oh, and then the next, I don't know, pubic hair went into being single. Maybe that. Oh, maybe she just.
Oh, because we were like, who are you shaving it for?
Yeah, that's it.
And she said herself, because she can't bear looking at it.
And then we were talking, Kaz and I were talking about how we love being single and we don't have to think about anybody or anything or have any timings in our lives.
Yeah.
And the only thing we miss is someone making a cup of tea for us.
That's the only thing.
Yep.
For any married man here now.
Most married men don't make tea anyway, do they?
I mean, to be fair, I am very, very, very complicated when it comes to a cup of tea. So Mark will go, do you want a cup of tea? And I go, yeah, but I don't know what one I want. And he'll go, oh, God, is it a goddess tea? I said, well, if it was a goddess tea, you should know it's a goddess tea because you should see that I'm stressed and I need to feel like a goddess. And he's like, do you want sweet? One day I want sweeteners, next day I want no sweeteners. One day I want maple syrup, next day I don't want any maple syrup. But yeah, and you always say it's like not somebody having first thing to say happy birthday.
Yeah, I say, no one says happy birthday, no one says Merry Christmas.
I say happy birthday.
Not first,
on
you've got to stay.
Well,
not when I wake up.
On your birthday, you've got to stay here. Stay here on the 17th.
But I've got used to it now.
And then I can come in with a nice cup of tea and go, happy birthday.
Oh, we're going to be away on my birthday this year. That's a surprise for you. We're actually going on my birthday. It's all sorted now.
Oh.
Her 60th.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we can do yours and mine on the same day.
Well, yes, unfortunately it
That's
had to be
nice.
that way, but that's...
But I like that.
Okay.
Because
Anyway, so you can say it to me.
being just yourself on just your own birthday on your birthday, I prefer to do a birthday with somebody else.
Yeah, but your birthday's the next month on the same date.
Imagine if we were twins.
Imagine.
So we could be twins. God, we do look so alike, don't we? We never sit and see ourselves.
No.
Don't you think we look so alike?
Well, I think we've got isms. We've got isms.
What was next on your list?
Well, that was it really.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Being single went on for quite a while, didn't it?
It did. So did the pubic hair.
And also we couldn't go into what the bits were around being single. But yeah, it was a fun day. Listen, guys, the simplicity of just hanging out without an agenda and just shooting the breeze and letting there be silences and letting there be just flops about is one of life's great pleasures.
Yeah, and then I felt guilty, didn't I? I went, oh, I better go home and do something.
Yeah, she was
I've
like,
not done anything.
oh, it was like 9 o'clock night. She was like, I better go home and do stuff. I said, I was giving the advice on it. I said, Dina, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, what? She goes, yeah, but I feel guilty. I haven't done anything. I said, yes, you have. You've spent time with friends, which is the work of life. That's what I would say. It's the work of life.
That is true.
They say it's just the hair colour makes you look different. So, guys, just a little thing about curly cooks.
Oh, yeah.
So last Saturday, we introduced you to somebody that we think is going to be a huge talent in the future. So sorry people can't message here that aren't members. Well, I'm going to sort that out. That won't happen tomorrow. And it's Daisy. And we loved her. And
you loved her.
And you loved her. And really thank you. And she wanted to say thank you for all your lovely messages because she said, oh my God, you said that your followers are the loveliest. She goes, and they really are. She had loads of messages. Lots of you have followed her and she's loved that at yum, YUM _DMC.
Oh, look, loads of big up Daisy. Daisy was great. Loved Daisy.
Really
Can we
was.
talk about Daisy?
She really was. What
Loved
about What was
Daisy.
some of your favourite lines? Mine was, she goes, yeah, because I've got these weird thumbs. And Dina went, yeah, I noticed them when you came in.
Rustic.
Rustic thumbs. And her mum Jan, do you
Yeah.
know, did she message? She said her mum Jan didn't watch the show because she couldn't get any internet. But she said the kids loved watching her on YouTube. And I think she's one of those rare beings where there's no sides to her.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get. She's just naturally just smart. She's just funny. I hate the thing down to earth, but there's no other way to describe it, is there? That's what she is.
Just wholesome, I said. She's wholesome. She's just
Wholesome.
wholesome.
And she was such
There's
fun.
no agenda. There's
Yeah.
no, you know.
So me and Dina are going to individually, because it's too difficult with 3 of us, to do Instagram lives where maybe Dina will cook something, show Daisy, I'll go, because we really want to help her, elevate her on social media, because there are so many wankers on social media. And somebody really good and hardworking, and let's all be a part of her rise to success, because I think she's got something really special about her, and it's lovely to be a part of helping somebody else do well. That's like a lovely thing.
Definitely. A young person as well.
And so we're really excited about her. She's going to come back to do Curly Cooks with us. We're going to get her live next time. It will be hair-raisingly terrifying for me and Mark, because the 2 of them together, she goes, oh, are you allowed to say that?
Yeah.
But at least because she used to work at Loose Women, she's got some sense of what you're allowed to say.
So have I.
So non-members, I'm really sorry you weren't able to comment. Members, thank you for all your lovely comments. Yeah, cook along, Lee.
Cook along.
Would be
Well, I
lovely.
think that'd be a great idea. I think we need to do
We're
that.
going to do that. We're actually thinking of opening a separate part to the channel, aren't we, for me and you to do cook along wine nights.
Yeah.
I like another members area. We're thinking of doing that. We just got to pull our fingers out. And Dina's going to start doing some filming for her YouTube channel.
With my followers. Poor thing,
She's getting a film up today. Not today, this week, because we're filming this week. I'm filming her this week doing some of her YouTube films. So follow her on the Dean. What is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
the Dina Sawalha.
She doesn't know. Here we go again.
It's the Dina Sawalha,
The
isn't
Dina
it?
Sawalha on YouTube. Yes, look, everyone's wanting a cook along plus a Dina video on her YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think a cook along will be fantastic.
Yeah. All right, smellies. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so YouTube can always tell you when we're live or when we've uploaded. And I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with Hannah. But if not, Lee doesn't know this yet. I'm going to ask Lee to do it with me tomorrow. But if not Lee, if Wednesday maybe. So cheeky. Anyway, do a nice wave with a nice
Have a
dinner.
lovely day,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.